Something is chilling about the silence that falls when a narcissist realizes their power over you has completely vanished. The charm, the manipulation, the mind games, suddenly none of it works anymore. But don't mistake this silence for peace. It's the calm before the storm, that moment when a predator realizes it needs to change tactics entirely. Carl Jung once said, "What we deny will eventually return to us as fate." For the narcissist, when their mask can no longer hide the truth, their shadow erupts with desperate force. You're no longer their source of supply, you've become their greatest threat, and they will not go quietly. The shift to desperation. When the narcissist's usual tricks stop working, they don't retreat. They escalate. This isn't about love anymore, it's a battle for control. They enter their most dangerous phase, where desperation replaces strategy, and rage becomes their primary weapon. The person who once swept you off your feet with charm now reveals their true nature, and that's when they deploy their final, most manipulative tactics. These aren't signs of love, they're symptoms of panic. Understanding this difference could save you from falling back into their trap. Tactic 1. Playing the ultimate victim. The first move they make is transforming into the victim. Suddenly, they're showing up to your friends, family, and even your workplace, looking broken and pitiful. They'll spin a story where they loved you with everything they had and sacrificed their whole world for you while painting you as cold and ungrateful. This isn't just lying, it's creating an alternate reality where they're the hero and you're the villain. They know society sympathizes with the wounded, so they use that image as their shield. Jung called this the persona, the social mask we wear. For the narcissist, the victim role is the perfect mask to win sympathy and isolate you from your support system. Their goal is simple: make you feel so alone that you return to them just to escape the loneliness. It's psychological warfare aimed at your social connections. Tactic 2. The false transformation. When playing victim doesn't work, they'll disappear for a while, then return, claiming they've completely changed. They've been to therapy, read spiritual books, and found enlightenment. They'll offer the exact apology you've been waiting years to hear. But here's the truth, this is just a new script, another performance. They haven't changed their essence, only their costume. Real transformation requires facing your shadow, something narcissists never do. They're simply playing a new role, hoping you'll lower your guard long enough for the old cycle to restart, usually worse than before. Tactic 3. Using your loved ones. If fake change doesn't work, they'll start using the people you care about as weapons. They'll call your mother, expressing concern about your mental state. They'll reach out to close friends, asking them to talk sense into you. Sometimes they'll even use children as bridges back to you. This is the flying monkeys strategy, turning your support system into extensions of their manipulation. Under the guise of worry, they plant seeds of doubt, making the people you trust most pressure you to reconcile. Your safe spaces become battlefields, where you're forced to defend yourself against people who don't understand what you've survived. Tactic 4. Rewriting history. Perhaps their cruelest move is manipulating your memories themselves. They'll tell you the relationship was mostly happy, that the pain you remember was exaggerated or imagined. They might even post old photos on social media to reinforce this alternate version of events. This is gaslighting on steroids, a direct attack on your mental foundation. When you start questioning, maybe I was wrong, maybe I overreacted, you're already being pulled back into their web. Jung said, "A memory that is denied does not disappear. It will return as a ghost to haunt us." The narcissist turns your real memories into ghosts, making you doubt your own perception. Tactic 5. The apology trap. Then comes the seemingly heartfelt apology. "I was wrong. I'm sorry for hurting you." After years of waiting, these words can feel like victory. But this apology comes without change. It's just a key test to see if the lock to your heart is still open. If you respond, Even with a simple "thank you," they know they still have power over you. From that single response, the entire cycle can restart. Remember, a true apology isn't words, it's change. With narcissists, actions never follow words. Tactic 6. The smear campaign. Once they realize you've truly broken free and started healing, they may launch a full-scale attack on your reputation. No more fake tears now, it's vicious accusations. You're a liar, unstable, and unfit as a parent. They'll attack your career, your character, everything. This is their scorched earth policy. If they can't have you, they'll try to ensure no one else wants you either. Through Jung's lens, this isn't really about you. They're fighting their own shadow, the emptiness and helplessness they refuse to face. Your freedom reflects their prison, and they can't bear that mirror. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe, not just for more content, but to join a growing space where truth, healing, and self-discovery matter. This is Psyche Thera, and your journey is just beginning. Tactic 7. Calculated disappearance. Finally, they'll vanish completely. Block you everywhere, create total silence. At first, this feels like relief. You exhale, start healing, and rebuild your life. Then, at your most peaceful moment, they send a simple message. I was just thinking of you. This is intermittent reinforcement. Their silence wasn't to give you peace, but to lower your guard. That single message can awaken every emotion, every memory. If you respond, they win not because they've gotten you back, but because they've proven they still have power over your heart. The truth and your liberation. Here's what connects all these tactics. None of them is about love. They're about power. The narcissist isn't fighting to win you back because they cherish you. They're fighting because they fear losing control. In their eyes, you were never a person with feelings. You were a supply, an energy source covering their inner emptiness. When you recognize these final moves for what they are, desperate performances of a collapsing shadow, you step out of their story. You become the conscious observer rather than a character in their drama. This is what Jung called individuation. Becoming whole, no longer defined by others, but living from your authentic self. The more peaceful you become, the more unsettled they grow. The freer you are, the more chaotic they become. That's your deepest victory, not changing the narcissist, but breaking free from their shadow entirely. Every boundary you maintain, every time you choose silence over reaction, you reclaim your power. You don't need to win their game. True victory comes from refusing to play it at all.